Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Awaken Your Positive Inner Voice podcast. I am your host, Kenya Zandrowicz. I love this time when I get to bring on someone talented and inspirational and motivational to co-host this show with me, and we can get into what this movement is. And we know what that is, correct? This is a you movement. This show is all about you. So I would like to introduce this beautiful, talented woman, Princess L Elmore. Round of applause. Thank you for joining us, Princess.
Thank you for having me, Kenya. It's definitely an honor to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Me too. And I know who you are. I've read the list, your bio. You are one talented actress, and
Oh,
you
thank you.
are one talented human being. I mean, production and you got an entire family, four boys, and you're doing all of this with them, with all that support. So if you don't mind, just tell my listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, Kenya, I'm a wife of 28, going on 29 years in February. It's of four young men now because they are just all of them are grown except for my last one. He is 17 years old. My two youngest, Darian and Donovan, they have tried to follow along in my path as far as acting is concerned. So they do some, they dig into the acting field as well and all some other kind of stuff that they're interested in. I am a grandmother of two beautiful little girls, Cree and Kira. Kira is our youngest one. I get to see her often. My other son stays in Kansas, so unfortunately we don't get to see her that often, but she's out here for a whole month once in a year. I am an actress, I'm a singer, I'm an acting coach for kids and adults. And in my spare time, my husband drags me off to different places that he wants to go and see. He can't be still, so he does do a lot of traveling. He loves to stay in the casinos and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just all over the place. I'm telling you. And I just love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's my all, my everything. I give him the utmost glory and praise because I know if it wasn't from him, I would not be where I am now. Even though my career I feel is just now really taking off for me. Been in this industry for almost 20 some odd years, but it seems now it's really, really taking off. And I just know that God is going to take me to a bigger and better place in my career. And I just cannot wait. But whatever doors that he's opening for me, I'm ready to step into it.
Well, I understand that, and I hear you loud and
Mhm.
clear. Um, because you have been in this industry for so long, and you just said something magical to me. It is just now taking off.
Mhm.
This show is about speaking kindly to yourself and being your own cheerleader.
Mhm.
So I am sure that you've had moments when you just felt like, why am I doing this? Like, is self-doubt, right?
Mhm.
So during those moments of self-doubt, how did you and do you get through those moments?
Well, I have to tell you, Kenya, is we have those moments. Being in actually just being an actress or being in the industry, period, we always have those self-doubts in those moments. And I believe that majority of the time we have to just put our mindset into a place where we say, you know what, this is what it is. This is a part of your career. This is what you chose to do. You're gonna have more no's than you do yeses, but we have to always stay positive and try to find other things to do until our season comes around. I always say that it's my season because, sometimes we have those quiet moments where it's not too much going on and you're just like, okay, so Lord, what? Am I not supposed to be doing this? What am I gonna do now? Because it just seems like everything is just quiet. I hear crickets, no auditions, no bookings. What's actually going on? And those are the times where you try to increase what you already know, but try to increase it and make everything that you have been doing in the past better. Continue to do those things and just speak life and speak positivity. Okay, I'm just preparing. Now, this is my preparation mode that I'm in now. It's nothing to do. I don't have anything coming in, but I can prepare for what's about to come because you always want to stay on ready. You always have to stay on ready. And that goes with any type of career that you have. You have to be on ready because when it's to that point where you feel that God is getting ready to take another step into your life and take you to a different level, you always got to prepare for it before he moves you. So that means that now I'm staying still. I'm not doing anything, but what I am doing is preparing for what is to come. And we always continue to do that. I remember, Kenya, real quick, back when I decided to do this full time, I was vice president at a bank. I was, making bukus of money. I loved it. I mean, I loved what I did, and I did it for over 20 some odd years. But when I was doing this, maybe for an example, I would book something. It would be probably a few days at the end of the week or on the weekend. And sometimes I had to make excuses from work to be on set for this. When I felt that, okay, I'm making up excuses, that means I'm having to lie so that I could go on set and do another job. It was like telling me, okay, it's time for me to leave. And I remember talking to my husband and I was like, I think this is what I want to do. If I don't do anything else, if I don't do it now, I won't, I won't ever will. I won't ever do it. So back in 2018 is when I decided, this is going to be my life full time. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't have nothing lined up, Kenya, nothing. It wasn't no auditions. I don't even think, let me see. I'm trying to figure out. I think that I did. Yeah, I did have an agent at the time, but of course I was new to that. So to that whole process, and I was like, well, there's nothing going on. So what is it? But I knew it was my faith walk, and I knew it was something that I had to do. I told my husband, I said, I don't care what it takes, but I promise you, I'll give it my all. I continue to work. I continue to do whatever I need to do. He was like, okay, let's do it. We may have to kind of cut down on some stuff, but go ahead and do it. So when I lost my job, he has been my biggest motivator. And but me, I was in that thought when I walked off that job that day and I sat in the car and I was like, okay, God, what now? What am I gonna do now? I left my job. So what am I gonna do? But it seemed like every single step that he's been right there with me. And I have not regretted since the day I left that job to what I am doing now. And now it's been, let's see, probably about 8, 9 years since I left that job. Not one day have I regretted it because I knew it was something I knew. When it's something that God gives you these different gifts and he's calling you to do these different things. And when he does, you don't know. It's just something in your mind and your heart and your spirit. Okay, it's something I have to do. So I'm leaving. So I just have to say, even when we have those moments of, those self-doubt moments, just know that, whatever God has put you and placed you, and knowing that things have been flowing the way it should, even though you have those moments, maybe months, maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe a year or so, that is nothing coming in, it's some things that you're doing that you need to increase because that big break is coming. Preparation time. You need to always continue to prepare yourself, even when you're going through those self-doubt mindsets or am I supposed to really be doing this? Of course you're supposed to be doing this. And to be honest with you, I still go through it every day. Am I supposed to be doing this? But I know if I won't be happy if I do anything or try anything else.
You
Nothing
made
else.
again, you made some very important key statements, and that
Mhm.
is realizing that you're being prepared.
Mhm.
You didn't look at it as if, oh my God, why are these things happening to me? You looked
Right.
at it as, what am I being prepared for?
Mhm.
Right? Like, this is a quiet moment. This is a moment of of introspect. This is a moment when I really have to gain that clarity and figure out, okay, before it was, do I want to do this? I'm a tiptoe around it. I'm gonna try it. And then you were told, no, this is what you have to do, and everything lined up so that you could take that leap. Because it wasn't a step. You had to take that leap of
Elite,
faith and
exactly.
to believe in it, right? So that
Hmm.
it could happen. Now, as far as acting goes, for you, for some, they would say that, you're getting started later on in life or later in your career. Of course, we know God's timing. It is happening when it is supposed to happen.
Amen.
Um, is this something that you knew way back when? Like, when did the bug bite you to the point where you were like, oh, what is this? And why is this happening? But I gotta scratch it. I gotta find out what this is. Let me explore it just a little bit more. When did that happen? Because I know for me, it was decades ago. I'm in the same boat as you are where I found it. My future self, my past self, my current self just kind of lined up. And here we are, and everything's coming to me at this moment in time. So, when was it for you that way back when you dipped your toe in the water and then you were like, I think I can do this. Now, my guess is you thought you could do it years ago. You pulled back just a little bit and you stayed with what you thought was safe.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
when was it for you early on when it finally, you finally decided acting is definitely something that I want to pursue?
Oh my gosh, Kenya. Okay, so let me start with back in elementary school. I was it was we was preparing for Black History Month. And so, of course, in elementary school here in Atlanta, we always did like, programs, Black History, and put on plays. And this particular play, and it's so crazy that I even remember the role that I played and everything. But I think I was probably like in the third grade, and it was a play. It was a lead slave in this play. Can't remember the name of the play, but my character, her name was Cowslip. Cowslip. And I remember having that role and being able to perform. And at third grade, you're probably like scared or anything. And I was a quiet little girl. I wouldn't say too much. But if it was something that I was doing in the public eye, it was like, okay, this quiet person is gonna make a 360. So when I got up there on that stage, it was like totally different. I wasn't nervous. I remember all my lines and everything. I loved it. But I was in the third grade. So that was a play back in the third grade. Didn't do any more until I got a little bit older. And then we started having like different plays and maybe different programs where I had to do a speech, at church and stuff like that. I would get like lead roles in the plays in church. And it was just something that I knew that I really wanted to do. And my husband now, when we were dating, he would take me to Tyler Perry stage plays and David Talbert stage plays. And I was like, one day that's going to be me on that stage. Is one day. And then at this time, I was in my early 20s, but I'm like, one day I'm going to be up there. And I did. I just started doing um, local community plays, and I would sing. I wouldn't do too much dancing. I can hold, but I can kind of like dance, but not dance. But it was all of that time that I have to say that the bug hit me in the third grade, but I didn't realize that it hit me until I was much older teens, 18, 19 years old, during the church plays. And I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and I would not be able to ignore it. All of my family members, even to this day, my husband, he said, "You're so dramatic. No wonder you're doing what you do." My sister would say, "You're so dramatic." And I am. I mean, I'm telling you, me and my husband was looking at this movie. We've seen this movie before, Kenya, millions of times with Jill Scott and her role. And I'm sitting up there just boohooing, crying. He will look at me and say, "Really?" Like you ain't never seen this movie before. I said, I know. It just gets to me every time, you know. And I'm so over dramatic. Anybody tell me something, I'm just like, oh my God. And so I had to use all of that energy and pour it into what I really wanted to do. So it actually started third grade. I got the bug, didn't realize that bug until I was like 18, 19 years old, doing the church plays and, stuff, any activities that there was going through school, I was in it. I just wanted to be in that light. And I can't say that it was because I wanted people to see me. I just loved to feel how people would react to what I was doing. So, I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted them to feel what I had to offer. You just want that certain feeling. So I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. I've loved it since I was a little girl, and I still do. It just won't go away.
This particular episode is all about alignment.
Mm.
It's all about aligning with what it is, your true purpose, your true passion, and
Yeah.
being able to identify what that
Mm.
is. And so, how do you quiet the noise so
Mm.
that you can discern what your next step is, so that you are remaining in alignment with what your passion is and what your talents are and what God has given you and has spoken to you for what you need to do moving forward? How do you do that with all of the things that are going on, especially in entertainment?
Mm.
How do you discern those moves so that you stay in absolute alignment for what your blessing is?
Oh my God. Now that's a great, great, great question. How do I stay in line? Oh my God. I have to say that the way that I stay in alignment what God has for me and have that discernment of it is with me is it's all about what I feel that God has appointed me to do. Some things I feel that are not for me. So even if I was to get a certain type of, even if it's just an audition, even if I was to get a certain offer, I have to see if is something that's going to stay in line with what God gave me. Because for me, my gift is because of what He loans me. I only have it until He say you can't use it no more. Or is this just time for you to go on and we're going to go on and just bring you on up to heaven? Hope, pray, preferably I'm going to heaven. You got to just make sure that everything that you do has an alignment with Him first, because I feel that He is the one that has given me my gifts. So for me, I always have to think, I'm always grateful. I'm always giving God some time. Sometimes I kind of slip and fall with that. If my schedule gets so busy, I don't have that time for God, but I have to have a moment. Lord, I just want to just take this time and just thank you for even when things are not happening right now, or if it's just quiet for me, Lord, I thank you. I give you all the glory and praise because I know that you already have things that you want me to do already in alignment or aligned for me to do for you, because this is a gift that you've given me to use for you. I'm that vessel. So for me, it's all about what I'm doing and if it's going to benefit myself, my Lord and Savior, my family, especially because I only take on certain roles that would not interfere with who I am as a person in real life, that it will not interfere or disrespect my husband or my kids because they're looking at me. And now I have grandkids too. So they're looking at me in a certain light. So I don't want to be out there just doing anything because I feel, okay, yeah, it's slow now. I need to do something. And I can't have to be honest that, sometimes my mindset is like, maybe I need to be doing this because I see everybody doing this and I ain't doing nothing right now. I'm not busy, blah, blah, blah. But it's like a way that God has a way of pulling me back in because of the way I just think. Anyway, I'm just like, I'm right here. I just have to wait. Be patient. Me with patience. Oh Lord, it's still a work in progress. I'm telling you, because it's just like for me, being patient is very, very, it's just, sometimes it just, yeah. It takes me a little bit longer. And I'm just like, okay, God, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm just trying to see when or how long it's going to happen for me, because it's just taking a little bit longer. And I'm seeing everybody else doing this. Can I do this? Knowing that I can't. No, you can't do it. Why are you even trying? It's like a back and forth conversation that he
Right,
has
right,
with me. And I know it's a conversation that we have because I'm fighting. And I know it's this young lady. She is a social media content creator, and she's always putting stuff out there and stuff she wants to do. But then she has this other role that she plays herself as an angel, and as God telling her, now you ain't supposed to be doing that. And we simply thinking, and what she'll do is say, okay, I'm gonna just go see by myself. And he is just like, okay, I just done told you not to do that. You know good well. And so I love to look at those videos that she put out there, because it's me. And I get so tickled because I'm just like, okay, I just had the same thing where I'm just like, okay, Lord, I know. But okay, I'm not going to do it this time. But then I'm like, well, what can't, I mean, is it really you talking? Is it really you? Just a little bit. Can I just do a little bit? Just a little bit, just to see. I'm just practicing for what you have in store. Why can't I just practice? So it's so many things that goes into play when you say, how do I keep myself aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing in my career, and how I know a discernment of what it is. I just have to talk to God, and we go back and forth. But I already know. It's like it's a feeling, and it's things that I know that I've done in the past. Some if I can, let's put it this way: if I can't share anything that I have done in my career with others or with the public, I shouldn't be doing it. If I'm not proud of it, I shouldn't do it. If I can't just go out and publicly share, if I have something, I'm like, "Ooh, y'all can't see that." Yeah, no, you can't see that. Then I shouldn't do it. That's one right there. When I pick up and see that script and see certain things in that script, that I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna think about this." Because I always tell my husband, "Okay, so in this scene, I'm supposed to do so and so. Uh, you think I should go on and do it?" And if he say, I can't make that decision, but you need to, I know you're going to make the right decision. In back of my hand and say, okay, I'm going to turn it down. I can't do it, because I already know it's not going to be in alignment with what God has promised me, what He's given me, and it's people that depend on me to stay in this little box with certain things that I've already said that I'm not going to do. Even some movies that I have, and I have to say a profane line or profane word or whatever, I've done it, but I'm just like, oh, it's just part of the career. I have, it's just part of it. I don't do that on the regular. That's totally different. But if it's something now of line that I know that I cannot do, like on the sexual side of it, being completely nude, that's something I don't even have the body for that. So I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I just don't have the money for all this stuff. So it's just sometimes for me, it's just having a conversation with God, and just actually knowing what I think everybody has stipulations. Some of them they're willing to do whatever comes with it, but with me it is some stipulations, because I have people that sees me in a different light. And I at least try to, be able to stay in that alignment, even if it's some that be like, "Ooh, honey, well, you did that role and blah, blah, blah. I can't even see that because I know you so sweet, sweet." Okay, that's just showing my versatility. I'm versatile and I can play those different roles, but I won't go all the way far over to the left. I know that I can't do some certain things because it's just going to take me way off track. So I really have to talk to God about it, no matter what it is. If I don't, I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know.
you've learned the art of being mindful. You've learned the art of taking the eagle's eye view of a situation. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a role or even in life, because it sounds like that you are the type of individual where you are very much aware of what's happening around you and very much aware of the repercussions of whatever it is, whatever that step is, whatever that decision is. You're like, okay, I'm thinking about this. I have to do this. But once I do that, what's the ripple effect of that pebble in the water
Mm,
choice?
absolutely.
That is something that a lot of people, I feel personally, are missing today because they're not learning how to quiet themselves and listen to God, source, energy, universe, however it needs to come in. And when you think about social media, it bombards you with the good, good, ooh, shiny. And people forget that it's a, ooh, I'm shining. So sitting
Mm,
there with yourself and understanding who you are and asking yourself, is this for me? Am I doing what it is that I know my soul purpose is here to do in this vessel, like you said?
mm-hmm.
And so knowing that about you, that leads me to say, I can see why you are an acting coach because you're not just teaching them the art of acting,
Mm-hmm.
you are ministering to them through the art of acting. So tell me a little bit about how you went from deciding, I'm going to be in front of the camera to I'm going to help millions of people exude that energy, but that good, good
Mm-hmm.
energy out there to the world. So tell me about how you made that transition.
Well, let me see. It was probably, I couldn't say that it was all of my decision. My coach, um, Jonna Nageli. I always pronounce her name wrong. That's probably not right, but it's Jonna Nageli. I have been with Coach, and I call her Coach J. I have been with her uh, over 10 years. I don't see her often now, but if I book a certain role and I know I need some extra help, it was one I just finished last year, and I always have to call her. And she's the one that actually believed that I can do, to coach. And she started off with me just being like a substitute coach, coming in with the kids. And it was on the weekend. She said, "You want to coach this class? You ready?" Blah, blah, blah. She put me out there. I was so scared, Kenya, because I'm like, I have the slightest idea. What am I gonna do? Just getting prepared for it, getting materials and everything prepared for it. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I've never coached before. And then it was something that told me, like, wait a minute, won't I just use my own experiences and take that into trying to show them what I've experienced with, just as being, because like I said, my acting career came in when I was a teenager, not a kid. But I did things as a kid that started with the plays in school. So I was just like, okay, so let me just take myself back. Let me be a substitution for myself when I'm trying to coach others. And every experience from that point, every experience that I had being on set, whether it was on stage, whether it was on TV, film, or whatever. I take those experiences and instill that within my coaching techniques as well. Everything that I've seen, everything I know that they may be looking for, everything as far as your expressions, the way that you deliver a line, just one line. It's something special in that, and you have to also put your own self into it. So after my coach asked me to start to coach the kids class. After I did that for a while, I think I did that for a while until COVID hit. And we moved in doing a lot of the sessions virtual. And she would start sending me, because at first it was just kids. And then she started sending me a few students here and there. So I was coaching, but I was coaching under her technique, which was the introduction to the Chubbuck technique. And so she would send me students, and then, of course, she would pay me out of the actual amount that she would charge a student for. So I would get paid out of that. And after that, I was like, you know what, I really want to go ahead and get my certification. So it was things I had to go in. I had to take another class with her so she could see my performance, and then how I would sit with her and kind of like give my opinions, do all this other stuff about students, and just kind of like shadow her in classes. And that's how it really started for me, just doing virtual. Most of my coaching is virtual because I don't sit in one place. I don't. So it's just like, okay, I may not be here. So, but I don't want to counsel my students. That means I can coach them wherever I am. My laptop coming, we can go ahead and have a session. And I love it. It's something that I've been doing now for a few years and hopefully we'll start doing more. And now we are going into doing the workshops with other actor colleagues and friends, close people that I've worked with and actually um coming in with Maurice Carey as well, doing workshops and being able to do that in person again to instill just what I've learned into others. And it's a blessing because, sometimes, people don't know what they don't know. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't tell them or instill things that they should know when you're even getting a booking, when you're standing up and getting ready to do an audition for a big show. What can you bring to the table to make sure that you're trying to win over that those casting directors and producers and stuff when you're doing an audition yourself? So, and I feel that, a lot of people don't get that opportunity and they go out there and they're just like, okay, ain't nothing happening. Is something, is something I need to switch up? Is it something other technique I need to do? And that's when I come in and try to put in just what I've learned over the years, what I've experienced over the years, and instill that into coaching others and hopefully helping them to take off in their career as well.
And I think that's a beautiful space to be in, especially when you've been in the
Mhm.
industry and you've seen the changes that are taking place
Absolutely.
within the
Absolutely.
industry. And there has been a shift. There has been a shift in regards to the independent creators being able to get their creative works out there. And there's been a shift within the acceptance of more Christian-based films,
Oh
more
yeah.
positive, uplifting films, more faith-based films. And
Mm.
so there's a lot going on right now within the industry. It doesn't matter, music, film, whatever, where those who were working in what they thought, working the darkness in the dark, it has all come out to light. Like it's all
Mhm.
out there. And because of that, I think that it has paved a way for individuals such as yourself to teach them the proper way of doing things. And the first thing you do is you add value to yourself
Right.
so that when you're walking there, you know what you can bring to the table and you're not
Exactly.
going to allow anyone to take advantage of your being. So
Exactly.
tell me a little bit about when you began to notice the shift and the doors busting wide open for you, because you said recently things are just starting to come your way. And I'm
Mm.
sure that when things started coming your way, you went, what is going on here?
Mhm.
Tell me about that and how you, because there are people listening who are looking to cheer for themselves, who are looking for those moments, those serendipitous moments
Mhm.
of insight and feeling and energy that's going to help get them through or even step out and follow their dreams, especially if it is acting. So
Cool.
how did you notice it? Like what did you say when you saw that shift and you're like, Hollywood's changing, everything's changing, something's going on. Do you remember what that moment was?
I do. I do, and it was recent. Like I said, I started when I started in TV and film. I started off doing a lot of indie films, a lot of stuff I did pro bono just to get the footage and get my feet wet. And I have to, let me give this shout out because I never shout them out, and I think it was because of them that I began to get more opportunities than I was aware of. I did a few. I think I did like 3 or 4 projects with Bobby and Renee Peoples. They now live in LA, in Las Vegas.
I know. I worked with them on projects in the past when I lived in Atlanta. Yes, 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 honey.
Oh
Yes,
my
give
God.
them their shout out. I give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So yes, yes, ma'am.
Listen,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they really believed in me. I auditioned for, it was a walk on. It was a walking, and I almost met. I always tell this story because I almost met Bobby Peoples at a gala some years ago. Then my husband went to, and but I knew about him because I saw a few of him and his wife indie films, and I remember seeing him at this gala, and I was so nervous. I was like, well, see, I said, you know, that's Bobby, but I ain't gonna go because I didn't know what he was gonna say. And to his day, I tell him that. So he said, I don't know why you didn't come over and talk to me. I said, because I was scared. I ain't gonna talk to you. I was scared. So he was like, but he after that, shortly they had like a competition or something that you can go on to their podcast that they had and answer some questions about what happened on their podcast and stuff. And you'll get a walk-in role from one movie. That walk-in role led to me getting a couple of lead supporting and lead roles in other films. So I did quite a few with them. Just for them believing in me and I guess seeing something special in my craft. They one day happened to call me and I received an audition for a Lifetime movie that I played Omar Gooding's mother in. And that was so big. And I remember when they called me, I was crying on the phone. I think I dropped the phone. My husband had to pick up the phone and finish the conversation when they called me and told me I booked it because I was just crying. I was like, oh my God. And when they told me I'm playing who, they said, Omar Gooding's mom. I said, oh my, I'm playing his mom. When I tell you that was such a blessing. And I made so many connections from that, not only from Bobby and Renee, but that led for me meeting other producers, Jamie Mack, that she produced one movie. I ended up doing 3 movies with her. Yeah, 3 that she called me in to do. I think that was only 3. Forgive me, Jamie. A Christmas movie and then another movie, and then of course the Lifetime movie. So not only that, when I tell you when things started happening, another incident was 2020, when it was COVID. Everything was going, we didn't know what was going on during COVID. And I remember that July, right before COVID really hit us, really, really bad, because it started really hitting us probably 2020, August, September, October, November, those months. It really came in and everybody seemed like it was, it was shut down at the house, couldn't do anything. But that July, prior to everything being shut down, I had booked my first um, supporting role in Teal, the movie about Emmett Till. And I was playing the role of Ruby Hurley. So I booked it back in, it was June or July. I want to say July of 2020, but I wasn't going to be on set to start filming until close to the end of that September, early October.
Mhm.
And I was so grateful for that. But in the meantime, with that one, I had booked another Christmas movie that was on Hallmark in Mississippi. All this going on. I mean, everything's shut down. I'm doing all this traveling in the midst of COVID. And so I went down and we shot that movie. It was a small role, co-star role in the Christmas movie. I came back the next week. I was supposed to be on set for Teal. I
Mhm.
caught COVID. Me, my husband, and my youngest son caught COVID 2 days prior to me being on set of Teal and having to get that phone call from my agent. The first thing is waking up. I knew I was feeling sick, but I was hoping and praying it was just my allergies.
Mhm.
Going to take the COVID test, you wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning, seeing that big old thing that comes back from production saying red is COVID, and you're not going to be able to take on that role. It was very heartbreaking. And I remember going into my prayer closet, and the first thing I said, I was crying, boo-hooing, crying, boo-hooing, crying, boo-hooing. And I said, let me go and pray. I said, Lord, I said, I know that you didn't bring me this far to take this away from me. This is my first, because that was the first role that I had that was big. We're talking about huge with Whoopi Goldberg and all these different A-listers. And I was like, oh my God, this is my first. I said, Lord, I know you didn't bring me this far to just
Mhm.
not just take
Mhm.
it away. I said, I don't know if it's going to be something bigger that's going to be in the place. I don't know, but I know that you didn't bring me this far to leave me. So, after that, I did that prayer. After all the crying I have done, my agent telling me that, oh, yeah, they're going to have to replace you. You're not going to be on there. All that was so heartbreaking to me. After I said that one prayer, I was done crying. I was like, you know what? If it's for me, it's gonna happen. God's just gonna work it out. I'm done with it, right? So I couldn't cry no more. 2 weeks go by. My husband is well. I'm well. My son is well. Me and my husband sit up here looking at TV. My cell phone rings, and it was the first AD for the movie Teal calling me, and I'm looking at the phone like, why is Steve calling me? And so I'm like, instead of answering the phone, I'm like, why is he calling me? So I finally answered the phone. He was like, hey, Princess, what's going on? How are you doing? But I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. He said, everybody doing good? I said, yeah, we're doing good. You know, we tested negative for COVID. Everybody is well. But thank you so much for asking. He was like, yeah, well, because I was calling to see if you'll be able to come on set this weekend. I'm just like, yeah, I'm available. Kenya, when I tell you, look, my husband was over there. He heard me on the phone. My agent hadn't even known yet. I'm calling her, and she was like, what? She's okay, let me call you back. Let me check. So he over there just praising God. He was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I didn't even have a time to even do anything because I'm still like, is this really happening? Am I dreaming or everything? But it was just like God said, I was just waiting for you to come back to me because you put so many other things in front of me. You didn't have time for me. So I had to just push it to the back burner. But that role was already for you. I was going to give it to you. It was just a little late, but I needed you to realize who it was coming from. And when I realized that, I was like, Lord have mercy. My agent called and she was like, yes, Prince. She said, they want you for the same role. 2 days turned into 2 weeks on set for the movie Teal. I had the biggest and the role what happened was they had to end up taking some of my lines because some of the scenes they had already shot. But I'm saying to myself, that don't nobody know me. And the person they had in mind to fill that spot was a bigger actor than me. They didn't have to call me back, but everything was already in line. God had already put that in play. That was for you. And I remember when I rapped and I talked to the director and I said, thank you so much for having me. You did not have to do it. She said, yes, I did, because that role was for you.
Mm,
And
mm,
every time
mm.
I get so full with that, and even though that role wasn't as big as all the others that follow behind it, that one will always be special to me because I knew exactly what I had to do in order for God to just take place and take it over. Because I had already talked to him, and then when you put your faith into it and know that okay, I'm done with the crying. I done cried. It ain't doing nothing but making me feel more congested. I'm up here sick. I'm like I can't keep crying. It's got to be a way around this. But when I went in and talked to him, I just knew it was done. Because what if it was for me, God was going to make a way, and that way came.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell you what happened and what transition, I had to make sure that I myself was aligned with God in order for me to be aligned with everything else He already had in place. And everything else started booking. I mean, the auditions and the booking started coming back to back. I was still on set with Teal. Started getting booked with the show Atlanta. Then I got booked with Dynasty, then Ordinary Joe and Chicago Med and The Shy, and all of them just kept coming back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. And I was like, okay, thank you, Jesus. Because I knew that I had to, okay, I know, okay, you told me I have to I got you. And so we're here now. Because it's like I can't do this anymore. And looking at me, we're here. Because whatever you have in store is going to come and be instilled in me, no matter what happens, no matter what you say, that you thinking that you can't do it, or I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. No. Mm-mm.
Honey, I promise you, I am right there with you. I've done, entertainment shows in the past and
Mhm.
was not until I was able to quiet myself and become aligned and understand that I am here to be the best human being, the best version of myself, the best vessel, the best conduit that I possibly can to help others find their way back to themselves so that they can become a better version of who they are, follow their dreams and reach their goals. And those seeds that were planted years ago, because you go back and you think about when you were a
Mm.
child, when it was first planted, and then came all the fertilizer and all the things you needed to grow from. And so now we're in your harvest season at this moment in
Yeah.
time. You are reaping the
Hmm.
benefits. And now things
Hmm.
are coming to you because the door is open. It's open. You're clear, right?
Yeah.
You don't have any self-doubt. Now sometimes you can be doubtful, but you're able to pull yourself back. You're able to, have that inner
Absolutely.
dialogue and get yourself back where you need to be.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we're coming up to the end of our show, but I would love for you to, one, those who are aspiring to get into this industry, please offer them some of your words. I'm not even going to say words, your wealth of wisdom that you can offer them as they dip their toe into the water and they decide that this is something to do. And then after that, please let everybody know where they can find you, where they can learn from you, where they can get to know you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first, I always say be patient, never give up, and also focus on if this is something you really want to do, because it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of creativity that you have to put into this type of career, and never give up on yourself, because like I said earlier, Kenya, you're gonna see more no's than you get. You get a handful of yeses and a whole plethora, whole box full of no's before you get the five yeses, right? So make sure you stay positive. Do not give up on yourself. Do not doubt your gift, and just keep on shining. Just keep on pushing, no matter what the obstacles are, no matter what may come in face of you, because all of us have been there. We're still going through some obstacles, but we got to learn how to push those out the way and just push through everything that you're trying to get through. Anything that's negative, the naysayers, put that out of your ear, block it, because you know what gift God has given you, and there is no time limit on it. There's no time frame on it, that you have to be a certain age, that you have to look a certain way, that you have to be a certain weight, anything, because I'm a thick girl. I'm thick and I love it. And you just have to make sure that you stay focused, stay positive, and know that God got you no matter what is going through. Just keep the faith, stay positive, and do what you have to do. Perfect. Nothing else. Just keep striving and never give up. And how you can reach me, please, on Instagram. Please follow me on I am Princess Elm. That's PRINCESSELM, the first three initials of my last name. And also on Facebook, it's Princess LaShawn Elmore or Princess L Elmore. I have two out there. And on, let me see, on Twitter, it's Princess Elmore. YouTube page, Princess Elmore. It's very, very simple. And I hope to see you guys and link up to me so you'll know what's going on.
Well, I thank you so much, Princess, for joining me and joining my listeners. I know they're going to absolutely love this. The energy is good. You are absolutely a godsend. Like I feel it, and I'm sitting here and I'm inspired, even though acting is not where I am, you still inspired me. Your stories inspired me. So I definitely thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. And for all of you who are out there, remember to check out indiecentral.tv. This is where you will find this episode and all other episodes. You can listen if you want to listen or watch the podcast. There are two different ways. You can listen on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, Audible, or visit my website at KN Zandrowicz. I always spell that in the comments so that you can tune in and just be enlightened. This is what this is about. Again, this is a you movement and you are required. So as always, people, I'll be talking to you positively. Oh, you.
These messages will now become subliminal, but your subconscious mind will be hearing and accepting all of the positive messages. Listen to the tapes as often as you can. The more you listen, the sooner success will come.
Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up, so I can see the world. Oh, pick me up from the illusion world. Ooh, damn baby, kiss me up like it's the end of the world. Walking down the streets of my dreams, why it seems so real. I can't believe I see what's really real. See the things we feel, we can make them disappear. 'Cause the time is near, you see, baby. So won't you come with me? Wake me up from this physical world. Then shake me up, so I can see the